For this pattern, I am going to use 3 colors, green, white, and pink, but the green color will be my main color. Let's get started. To get started, make a slip knot. To work your foundation chains, you can use either of these measurements. So you can either use your shoulder to shoulder measurements, or you can use half of your bust size. For me, I am going to use my bust size. My bust size is 34 inches. 34 divided by 2 is 17 inches. So I will make chains that measures 17 inches. So go ahead and make your chains to either your shoulder to shoulder measurements or to half of your bust size. And also your total number of chains must be in multiples of 5, okay? After you've worked your total number of chains, you are going to lay your chains down, and then using your tape measurer, you're going to measure out your chains without stretching, okay? So measure it out and make sure that it measures to half of your bust size or to your shoulder to shoulder measurement, okay? So for the beginning of this tutorial, I will be working with a sample size. I worked a total of 70 chains for the foundation chains, and it measured 17 inches without stretching, okay? After you've had your total number of chains, which is in multiples of 5, you are going to make 3 extra chains. 1, 2, 3. For the men's sweater, I had worked 70 chains, which is a multiple of 5, and then I added 3 extra chains, which makes it 73 chains in total. Alright? To get started on row 1, you are going to place 1 double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3. Place 1 double crochet in that 3rd chain. After that, chain 5. After chaining 5, skip 4 chains and place 1 double crochet in the next chain. So skip 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place 1 double crochet in the next chain. Again, chain 5. After chaining 5, skip 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, and place 1 double crochet in the next chain. After that, chain 5. Then skip 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place 1 double crochet in the next chain. You are going to repeat chain 5, skip 4 chains, place 1 double crochet in the next chain, chain 5, skip 4 chains, place 1 double crochet in the next chain. Repeat that all the way across until you get to your last chain. To get started on row 2, chain 2. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and then turn your work. Place 1 half double crochet in that first stitch. Then you are going to place 4 half double crochets in the next space. After that, place 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. So come to the next double crochet stitch and place 1 half double crochet. After that, in the next space, you are going to place 4 half double crochets. and then place 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch. In the next space, place 4/2 double crochets, then place 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch, 4/2 double crochets in the next space, 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch. Repeat that all the way across until you get to your last stitch. After placing 4/2 double crochets in your last space, to finish off the row, you're going to place 1/2 double crochet in the last stitch. To work row 3, chain 2. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and then turn your work. Place 1 double crochet in the very first stitch. Then chain 5. After chaining 5, skip 4 stitches and place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Again, chain 5. After that, skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. After that, chain 5. Then skip 4 stitches and place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. You are going to repeat chain 5, skip 4 stitches, place 1 double crochet in the next stitch, chain 5, skip 4 stitches, place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Repeat that all the way across until you get to your last stitch. To finish off the row, you are going to chain 5 and then skip 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, then place 1 double crochet in this very last stitch. For the next row, I am going to use another color. Okay, so to change colors, I'm going to chain 1 and fasten off. And then I am going to attach my new color in this same stitch. To work the next row, which is row 4, we are going to repeat row 2. So chain 2. Remember, every chain 2 at the beginning of each row does not count as a stitch. And then turn your work. Then place 1/2 double crochet in that first stitch. In the next space, you are going to place 4/2 double crochets. After that, in the next stitch, place 1/2 double crochet. And then place 4/2 double crochets in the next space. After that, place 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, then place 4/2 double crochets in the next space. You are going to place 1/2 double crochet in each of the stitch and then place 4/2 double crochet in each space. Repeat that all the way across until you get to your last stitch. To finish off the row, place 1/2 double crochet in that last stitch. For the next row, I am going to go back to the green color, so I will chain 1 and fasten off. I am going to attach the green color in this last stitch I just fastened off. To work row 5, we are going to repeat row 3. So chain 2, turn your work, place 1 double crochet in that first stitch, and then chain 5. After chaining 5, skip 4 stitches and place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Again, chain 5. After that, skip 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 5. Then skip 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Repeat, chain 5, skip 4 stitches, place 1 double crochet in the next stitch, chain 5, skip 4 stitches, place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Repeat that all the way around until you get to your last stitch. So far we have worked 5 rows. So for the next row you are going to repeat the half double crochet row. After that, repeat the mesh row and then go back to the half double crochet row and then repeat the mesh row. Okay, so you're going to alternate between the half double crochet row and the mesh row continuously until you get to the length that you want your sweater to be. Basically, the final length should go from your shoulders down to wherever you want your sweater to stop. All right, and then you can change colors as you please. I am done working my first panel. Okay, I worked a total of 23 rows. My panel measures 13 inches. All right, for the color combinations I did 3 rows of green, 1 row of white, 3 rows of green, 1 row of pink, 3 rows of green, then 1 row of white, 3 rows of green, 1 row of pink, and then for the remaining rows I used green color. Okay, now that we are done with the front panel, next up we are going to mark out the neckline. You are going to mark out your neckline depending on how wide or how small you want it to be. So for me, I'm going to count out 3 stitches on the last row. 1, 2, 3, and then I'll place a stitch marker in that 3rd stitch. There you go. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this other side. 1, 2, 3. I'll place a stitch marker in the 3rd stitch. So this is how wide my neckline is going to be. Okay, so if you want your neckline to be smaller, you can shift your stitch marker inward, so you can attach it on the 4th stitch and also on the 4th stitch or on the 5th stitch, whichever works for you. Okay, so after attaching your stitch marker, next up you are going to make sure that you sew in your loose ends. You can use a tapestry needle to sew in your loose ends, but for me I'm just going to make a knot. Okay, so I'm gonna hold both of the loose ends like so and then make a knot. That's 1. I'll make another knot. 2. I'll make another 1. Okay, 3. All right, and then I'm going to fasten off. I'm gonna fasten off, but I advise that you use a tapestry needle just so that your loose ends will be secure. Okay, there you go. So you're gonna go ahead and sew in all your loose ends. Now that we are done with everything, we are going to go ahead and work the back panel. You're going to chain 2 and turn your work. Then place 1 double crochet in that first stitch. After that, chain 5 and then place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Again, chain 5, then place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So this is the stitch that has my stitch marker. Okay, so I'm going to place 1 double crochet there. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. This part is for my shoulder section. So if you have your stitch marker, let's say somewhere here, you are just going to repeat chain 5 double crochet in the next stitch, chain 5 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, you'll repeat that all the way across until you get to the stitch that has your stitch marker. So since this is the stitch that has my stitch marker, I'm going to stop here and I'll take out my stitch marker. This is what we have so far. Next up, we are going to make some chains and then skip all these stitches and connect the chain to this other stitch that has the stitch marker. So that opening will be for the head or the neckline. All right, so in order to figure out how long your chains should be, you are going to count out the total number of chains and stitches you have in between the stitch markers. So this is where my first stitch marker was, and this is where my next stitch marker is. So I'm going to count out all these chains and all these stitches until I get here, and I'll figure out the total. Okay, you can either do this. You're going to count 5 chains plus 1 stitch, that's 6. 6 plus the next 5 chains, that's 11. 11 plus the next stitch, that's 12. 12 plus the next 5 chains, that's 17. 17 plus the next 1 stitch, that's 18. You're going to do that all the way across until you get to your last chain 5 space before the stitch marker. Or if you find that a little too tedious, what you're going to do is count out all your spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 spaces. Okay, I have 10 chain 5 spaces. Now 10 times 5 is 50. So I have 50 chains. Okay, and then after that you're going to count out all your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 stitches. So 50 chains plus 9 stitches is 59. So I am going to make 59 chains and then connect it over here on the stitch. So go ahead and work out your own calculations to figure out how many chains you should make. Okay, after working out your calculations, you are going to go ahead and make the total number of chains that you got. Okay, so mine is 59. I will chain 59. When you are done working your total number of chains, you are going to place 1 double crochet in this stitch that has your stitch marker. So place 1 double crochet in that marked stitch, then take out your stitch marker. After that, chain 5, then place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, now if you have more stitches left, you are just going to repeat chain 5 double crochet in the stitch, chain 5 double crochet in the stitch. All right, I have just 1 stitch left, so I'm just going to chain 5 and then place 1 double crochet in that last stitch. This is what your work should look like. To work the next row, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. Place 1 double crochet in that first stitch, then chain 5. After that, place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Again, chain 5, and then place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. If you have any other stitch left, you are going to repeat chain 5, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 5, double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, so you're going to repeat that until you get to the last stitch before your chains. After working a double crochet stitch in your last stitch before the chains, you are going to chain 5. Next up, we are going to work across the chains. Okay, so after chaining 5 here, we are going to skip 5 chains and place 1 double crochet in the next chain, then chain 5, skip 5 chains, place 1 double crochet in the next chain. We are going to repeat that all the way across until we have 5 chains left. All right, after chaining 5, skip 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then place 1 double crochet in the next chain. After that, chain 5. After chaining 5, skip 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place 1 double crochet in the next chain. Again, chain 5. Skip 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place 1 double crochet in the next chain. Okay, so you are going to repeat chain 5, skip 5 chains, place 1 double crochet in the next chain, chain 5, skip 5 chains, place 1 double crochet in the next chain. Repeat that all the way across until you have 5 chains left. This is what you should have so far. I have 5 chains left. Okay, so let's complete this row together. After placing 1 double crochet here, chain 5, and then skip the last 5 chains and place 1 double crochet in this first stitch. After that, chain 5, place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. If you have more stitches left, you are going to repeat chain 5, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 5, double crochet in the next stitch. Since I have only 1 stitch left, I'm going to chain 5 and then place 1 double crochet in that last stitch. This is what you should have so far. In order to make sure that everything is perfect, you are going to go ahead and count the spaces between these stitches to make sure that it's equal for both the front and the back. So these are the stitches. I'm going to count the spaces in between the stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 spaces for the front side, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 spaces for the back, so everything is perfect. From here forward, it's pretty easy and repetitive. All we have to do is repeat everything we did for the front panel, but in reverse. So this first row for the back is the same as this last row for the front. Okay, so now we have this. Next up, we are going to work a half double crochet row, this one, then work a mesh row, then half double crochet, then mesh. Okay, you're going to repeat those 2 rows and you're going to change colors as you please. So I'm just going to work 1 more row with you. Okay, so to work the next row, chain 2, turn your work, place 1 half double crochet in the first space. In the next space, place 4 half double crochets. After that, place 1 half double crochet in the next stitch, and then place 4 half double crochets in the next space. After that, place 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. You are going to place 4 half double crochets in the space, 1 half double crochet in the stitch, 4 half double crochets in the space, 1 half double crochet in the stitch. Repeat that all the way across until you get to your last stitch. As I said earlier, you are going to alternate a row of mesh and half double crochet row, then mesh, then half double crochet row. Okay, you're going to repeat that until you have the same number of rows that you had for your front panel. I have a total of 23 rows for my front panel, so I'm going to work my back panel until I have 23 rows as well. Okay, so you're going to start counting your back rows from this first row of mesh. These 3 stitches right here, this one right here is for the shoulder, it doesn't count. Okay, I am done working my second panel. Okay, this is what I have so far. So now that we are done working both front and back, next up we are going to fold the panels together and then sew the sides, leaving space for the armhole. Okay, before we sew the sides together, you are going to mark out the space for your armhole. So first off, you are going to lay your work like this and then come to the side of one of your panels. To mark out your armhole, you are going to use a tape measurer, and then starting from this row that stays by the shoulder portion, so this row that has 3 stitches, okay, you're going to start from the top of that row and measure down. I'm gonna measure out 7 inches for a size small. So this is 7 inches. This space falls under 7 inches. I'm going to place a stitch marker right there. I have placed my stitch marker. So for extra small, you can mark out 6.5 inches. For medium, 7.5 inches. And for large, 8 inches. But if you want your armhole to be wider, you can add maybe half an inch or 1 inch. Okay? So now that we have placed stitch marker on this side, you're going to trace your work to the other side of your panel and attach stitch marker. Okay, so I'm going to place another stitch marker right here. Now that we have marked out the armhole for the first panel, we are going to go to the next panel and repeat the same thing. So in order to make sure that you attach your stitch markers in the right place for the second panel, you're going to come to your first panel and count out the rows that you attached your stitch markers. So this is my panel. I'm going to start from the very first row by the neckline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I attach stitch markers in the 11th row. So now I'm going to come to my second panel. So this is my second panel. I am going to start counting from the very first row by the neckline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to place a stitch marker in the space by the side. I have placed my stitch marker, and now I'm going to trace to the other side, and then I'm going to attach another stitch marker right here. Now that we are done attaching the stitch markers, next up you are going to fold your panel together. Okay, so bring both panels together. So before we work the seam, you have to make sure that the wrong side of your half double crochet is facing you. So looking at this panel, this is the wrong side of my half double crochet and this is the pretty side. Okay, so you have to make sure that the wrong side is facing you. All right, because your seam is going to be on this side. So after doing that, let's get started on sewing. To sew the sides together, you can either use a tapestry needle or you can use single crochet stitches. I will be using single crochet stitches. Okay, so to do that, you are going to insert your hook in the loop where you stopped and then turn to the side of your vest. Bring both panels together and be sure to align the stitches. Okay, then to get started on the sewing, you're going to chain 1 and then insert your hook in the very first space. Then insert your hook in the opposite space and work 1 single crochet. After that, you are going to place another single crochet in both spaces. Okay, so this is what you should have. And then you're going to move on to the next half double crochet space. Insert your hook in the first space, then insert your hook in the opposite space and work 1 single crochet. Again, you are going to go back in both spaces and work another single crochet. Okay, then go in the next double crochet space. In both spaces, work 2 single crochets. 1, 2. After that, you are going to go in the next half double crochet space and also in the opposite one and place 2 single crochets and 2. Okay, then go in the next double crochet spaces in both spaces and place 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Okay, you are going to place 2 single crochets in both opposite spaces. Okay, continue that until you get to the last space before your stitch marker. So I have stopped here in the space just before my stitch marker. So this is going to be our armhole. All right, after your last single crochet stitch, you will chain 1 and fasten off. Now that we are done sewing this side together, you are going to come to this other side and then turn your work like so to the side. Okay, to sew this other side together, you are going to bring the top panel and then attach yarn in the very first space. After that, chain 1, bring the other panel. After aligning your stitches, you're going to insert your hook in the first space and also in the opposite space and work 1 single crochet. Then go back in both spaces and place another single crochet. After that, you are going to place 2 single crochets in the next space in both spaces. So just like you did for the other side, you are going to keep placing 2 single crochets in both opposite spaces all the way across until you get to the last space before your stitch marker. After your last single crochet stitch, chain 1 and fasten off. Now you are going to take out your stitch markers, sew in your loose ends and then flip your work inside out. Okay, this is what your vest should look like so far. Okay, this is the seam on the inside. All right, so the last thing we are going to do is work an edging around the bottom of your vest. So turn to the bottom like so. You are going to come to the seam on your left hand side, which is right here, and then attach yarn in the space just before the seam. After attaching your yarn, chain 1 and then place 5 single crochets in that same space. After placing 5 single crochets in the space, you are going to make a slip stitch in the seam. So poke your hook in the seam and work a slip stitch. After that, you are going to place 5 single crochets in the next space. After that, place a slip stitch in the next stitch, like so, and then place 5 single crochets in the next space. After that, make a slip stitch in the next stitch. After the slip stitch, you are going to place 5 single crochets in the next space, then slip stitch in the next stitch, 5 single crochets in the space, slip stitch in the stitch. Repeat that all the way around until you get to your last space. After placing 5 single crochets in the last space, you are going to slip stitch in this last stitch, and then slip stitch in this first single crochet stitch. Then chain 1 and fasten off. At this point, we are done with the vest. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. I will see you in my next video. Bye.